SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
A bumper bank holiday Monday in the League of Ireland title race. We're in Inchicore, where two of the top four meet. 5 wins out of 6 under John Daly has seen the Pats send up that Premier Division table in recent weeks. This evening, a big test for the upwardly mobile Saints. Derry City, most observers' tips for a title challenge this season. They came into today's round of games just at 1 point off the top, despite taking just 1 point from their last 2 games. Live from Richmond Park on Virgin Media 2, it's St Patrick's Athletic versus Derry City. Kick-off less than 15 minutes away. Good evening. The league takes a fortnight's break after this Friday's fixtures. These two teams among those jockeying for position at the top end heading into the second half of the season. Jockeying for position in studio this evening, 2 men who know that title-winning feeling as managers, Brian Kerr and former Dundalk boss Vinnie Perth. Very welcome, gentlemen. Chat in just a minute. Let's just have a look at this evening's fixtures so far. There is a full card of games, and 3 of them already underway, as you can see. No goals at Turner's Cross between Cork City and Bohemians. Sligo Rovers and Shamrock Rovers also scoreless so far at the showgrounds. That one's still in the first half. Entering the latter stages as well at Oriel Park, and it looks like a much needed win for Dundalk on the cards there. Let's have a look at a crucial goal in that game, because Dundalk fell a goal behind to UCD early on through Jake Doyle. Pat Hooban then equalised for Dundalk from the penalty spot, and just before the break they went in front, and it was this goal eventually finished off by Daniel Kelly that turned the game around for the Lily Whites. Hooban then struck 2 more in the second half, so in the dying stages. It's 4 goals to 1 there. We'll keep you up to date with all this evening's games and goals as they're going in. Let's just have a look then at how that Premier Division table looks as it stands at the moment. You can see what that result would mean to Dundalk, just keeping in touch with that sort of top 4. But Vinny, like in general, and specific focus, of course, to the 2 teams we're covering this evening, Derry and Pats. How important is this week, tonight and Friday, heading into that mid-season break, getting yourself in position for that second half of the season?
Yeah, no, it's crucial. I think that mid-season break always comes, particularly if teams are looking to win a league. I think it's really important to them. You get a real sense of where you are. Both of these clubs are heading into European football as well, so I think they'll feel it's really important for them, and adding that consistency to their play. And Pats have turned the corner around a little bit over the last number of weeks, and but for Derry, and I think the league has had a lot of. I think the one common trend has been that teams have consistently been inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, so it's opened the door up, and it's made a fascinating view, because 3 or 4 wins can put you into that European spot. And if Pats were to win tonight, they go level on points with Derry City, albeit they've lost 7 games this season. So there's a lot of excitement around the league and a lot of mixed results. And I think it's a huge night for both teams.
If they got those wins both this evening and on Friday night, Brian, would they be talking about a title challenge around Inchicore?
Well, they might be in the battle for it, but I think that's unrealistic, given what Vinny said. They've lost 7 games. I mean, they had the situation. I think Timmy Clancy accomplished a lot of Pats. He came in after Stephen O'Donnell scarpered off, and he had to reform a team and put a bit of a shape, and he did quite well, and they qualified for Europe. Jonathan was there working with him. He's taken on the job now, and he's got a few decent results for sure, and he's had to deal with a fair bit of misfortune. I don't think people expected them to be in the position they're suddenly in after winning the last 3 games, 5 wins out of 6. I think people around the club in general are a bit surprised. They were disappointed with the form prior to that and lost a few games in a row. But if they could win these 2 games, they're certainly back in touch, given the situation we see at the moment, with both Derry and Shamrock Rovers losing points unexpectedly. Derry losing to Sligo, that was a surprise result, and then only drawing with Shells the other night, where they would have been expected to win. I think it's a tough task for St. Pat's tonight, given the number of players they're short, missing an awful lot of experience, a lot of young boys playing.
It feels like a big game for Derry as well. We all know their aspirations coming into this season, Vinny. And look, before the last round of games, they were top of the league. So even though it's 1 point out of 2 games, what really stands out about those 2 games, though, Vinny, is that they didn't score in them. And can you really, they'll want to get that right, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at, I suppose you look throughout the league, I know Hoban is scoring goals tonight, but there's not great centre forwards banging in lots of goals. So,
bear in mind they were against Shelburne here, this 0-0 draw, the best defensive team in the league, but still.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Derry's problem hasn't been they've only conceded 12, but Jordan McAniff is the top scorer with 6, and he generally doesn't play for them. So they're lacking that striker who go and get you 20, 25 goals a season to help you win the league. And that's they've had a lot of domination in games, a lot of possession, but that cutting edge has been lacking from their performance a little bit. But this Derry team now, when you put Conley back into it, and arguably Dummigan was Player of the Year last year in the league, when you put the 2 of them back into it, they're at full strength more or less now. Obviously Colin Whelan a long-term injury, so no real excuses for them now. They've probably let Shamrock Rovers off the hook a little bit with a couple of the performances. They should be further ahead, and tonight's a crucial win for them.
Well, let's hear from both managers. They're speaking to Anne-Marie Keegan.
John, another win here tonight, and you go level on points with Derry in second. I'm sure that's all the motivation your players need.
Yeah, of course. I think we spoke about it before. Every 3 points is massive, and especially when you're against rivals that are up near the top of the table as well. So we're obviously fully focused on trying to get the win and get 3 points.
You're in a great run of form, 5 wins from the last 6. What's been key to that?
Look, I think confidence is key. The players winning games, and it then breeds confidence, and I think you can see that in the play that we've had. I think there's been a lot of good attacking play, and then I think tightening up at the back as well. We have still conceded goals, but probably not as many as we have done prior to the last few games. So I think that's really important as well.
The crowds here at Richmond Park this year have been absolutely brilliant. How important could they be tonight up against opposition of the calibre of Derry City?
Yeah, they've been great. They've been really fantastic, and they always generate a fantastic atmosphere. I think the last game here against Dundalk, they were fully invested in the game, and it got the players, especially when we went down to 10 men, it gave them that little bit of a lift and that little bit of energy to go and win the game, and they can obviously be that 12th man. You hear it all the time about the crowd getting behind you, and I think it is important that they do that, and look, I think as long as we give them something to get behind, they will 100% get behind us.
Rory, after 2 games without a win, how important could 3 points be here at the end of the season in terms of the title race?
Well, we'll not speak too soon about title races. Our main focus is just trying to pick up 3 points here against a good side here in really good form. So we've a lot of work to do before we get into conversations about title challenges.
Your away form is the best in the league. That must give you great confidence when you come to places like Richmond Park.
We've a brilliant away record for the last couple of years. We put in some good displays here, particularly last season. So we would take another one of them. Would be lovely, and have full confidence in the team that's taking the field and our bench that we can go and get a big 3 points.
You've faced Pats twice already this season. After seeing those team sheets, are there any areas you think you might be able to exploit?
No, they're a very, very good side. Apparently they're down to their bare bones, but it's a tasty looking bench, so they're not doing too bad here. So, no, listen, it's a very, very good team that we're coming up against, but if we play at our full potential, then there's no reason why we can't get 3 points.
And managers, as they always do, poo-pooing any talk about title challenges and all that sort of stuff, taking each game as it comes. And from Pat's point of view, Brian, 2 changes. Noah Lewis, who scored the 2 goals from corners against UCD, he starts in place of Harry Brockbank. Owen Doyle's back in faces Jason McClelland. It's one of the things that you can't really get too ahead of yourself with Pats is because they're such a young squad. You know, we got Mason Melia, who's doing his junior cert on the bench this evening, and Adam Murphy starts his leaving cert on Wednesday, and he's a regular in the team.
Well, they have a lot of boys around the team. I mean, Sam Curtis, 17, playing right back, very, very good player. Noah Lewis, 22, Jay McGrath, 20. They've had it very indifferent form. I mean, their two main centre backs are out. Obviously, the Joe Redmond's a massive loss. Tom Gravosti, Alex Schauberg as well. Three important defensive players. So they're struggling a little bit at the back, but they have good quality around midfield. Adam Murphy, again, another young boy doing his leaving cert. Chris Forrester, Jamie Lennon. That's been very good in the team. But Derry are very formidable and very strong and experienced in there. It'd be a big challenge for them to get a little edge in there. They've been outplayed by Derry in both games this season in the middle of the pitch. And then, you know, Sam Curtis and Anthony Breslin going to have to deal with Graydon and Michael Duffy on the other side. Very good attacking players. And the full backs are very good attacking as well. Conor Carty, Ben McCormick, two more young players playing in important positions for Pats. They're missing Jake Mulroney. So I think Derry have an edge in lots of areas.
Vinny, as Brian says, real quality in that Derry team. But you hinted at it a few minutes ago there, like the situation, obviously Colin Whelan, long-term injury up front. It's like Cian Kavanagh's in that berth this evening, 4 changes from the 0-0 draw against Shelburne. How do you see them shaking up in an attacking sense this evening?
Well, I think at the back, Ben Doherty will give them from left back. Him and Michael Duffy down that side will be really strong, and that's where Pats will have their work cut out. Midfield is going to be a great battle. McElhenney against Chris Forrester, two of the marquee players in the league, outstanding players. So that'll be a big battle. But Graydon on the right wing, as Brian touched on, a lot of interest from England, really strong footballer, and he's got a real chance. But you would say Derry's attacking threat would give them the edge in this game, you feel, but it's not the first game of the season, and Derry should have won the game, but Pats dug in, and they seem to be showing signs of resilience at the moment, and it's set up for a really tasty game. Vinny? Just Derry's front players, I would imagine they will have probably more of the possession, and you would think if they take their chances, they could win the game.
Brian, Richmond Park looking resplendent in the sun there. Alluring sight as always, isn't it? But, great feel-good factor around Pats, great crowds this season. On the other hand, Derry almost prefer playing away from home, don't they, in terms of their record this season? It's actually way better. 5 wins
in Dublin and a draw. The only points they dropped were at Pats, but they're a strong, as I said, experienced team, and that midfield, Domigan Diallo and Patrick McElhenney, you think it'll be a battle between Forrester and McElhenney. I think Jamie Lennon will be trying to look after Patrick McElhenney, which is a tough job, but he's been in spectacularly good form, Jamie Lennon, lately. But I just think that there's so many players missing from the Pats team, their strongest team. It'll be a tough task for them to get anything tonight from the game.
Indeed. But it's a big game, isn't it, as the lads have been saying. Let's then get to Richmond Park for some Pats against Derry City. Throughout the night, we will keep you posted on all the other action around the League of Ireland as well. But your commentators for this one are Bernard O'Toole and Keith Tracy.
And you're very welcome to a glorious night in Inchicore for what has all the ingredients to be a cracking game of football. St. Pat's, the fourth team in the league with 5 wins in their last 6 matches, playing a Derry side aiming to bring the title home for the first time in 26 years. But a Derry side who have been off it of late, following a loss to Sligo and a draw with Shelburne at the weekend. Conditions ideal for football. This a fixture that St. Pat's have struggled in. They haven't beaten Derry in 6 league meetings. Their last league win over Derry was back on the 9th of July 2021 when a Chris Forrester goal was enough for a narrow, slender 1-0 victory for St. Pat's. But they are most definitely a team on the up, and a chance here this evening for St. Pat's with a win to go level on points with title-chasing Derry, which would be some achievement at the 20-game mark of the season. Well, St. Pat's may be on an excellent run of form, but manager John Daly makes 2 changes to the side to beat UCD on Friday. There's no surprise to see Noah Lewis come into the team after he came off the bench to score twice in that game. The other change is the return of Owen Doyle to the starting 11, The two players who make way are Harry Brockbank and Jason McClelland. So less than 2 days before he begins his leave insert, Adam Murphy starts for St. Pat's. Conor Carthy, a player in form. He has scored 2 in his last 2 and 3 in his last 6 for St. Pat's. Referee tonight is Neil Doyle, a 4th trip to Richmond Park for the referee. Plenty of familiar faces in the Derry side, plenty of players with links to St. Pat's. Well, speaking of Derry, they had a penalty save from goalkeeper Brian Marr to thank for a scoreless draw with Shelbourne on Friday night. Rory Higgins makes 4 changes to the side that played in that game. In come Ryan Graydon, Shane McElhenney, Sadhu Diallo and Cian Kavanagh. Kavanagh and McElhenney are 2 of 3 former St. Pat's players in the Derry side this evening. The other is goalkeeper Brian Marr. Kavanagh scored the winner the last time Derry won here, which was back in September of last season. Keith Tracy alongside me. Keith, conditions absolutely perfect. What are you expecting here?
First and foremost, Bernard, I'm expecting a really good game of football. I think Derry will come here and try and knock the ball about as they do. I think it boils down to the 2 attacking midfielders on both sides. I think if you look at Patrick McElhenney, the number 10 for Derry, if he can get into his flow and start dictating, then Pats will really be on the back foot. But in the same voice, if Chris Forrester, the number 8 for St. Pat's, can get on the ball and make things happen, then we'd assume that Pats would be in the ascendancy. So a lot of good battles all over the pitch. Very interesting to see how they unfold.
St. Pat's banging form. Derry looking to get back into form. They'd won 4 on the bounce before those last 2 matches in which they suffered that defeat to Sligo, and dropping 2 points from their perspective at home to Shelbourne on Friday night. But we are underway. St. Pat's in their traditional red and white, and it's the change strip for the Candy Stripes, who are in yellow and black this evening. Diallo, well, the referee has already blown the whistle, and St. Pat's will have a free kick. Adam Murphy, the player feeling the effects of that challenge from Kavanagh. Well, the games have always been lively. A 1-1 draw here earlier on this season, a 2-0 victory for Derry back in April at the Brandywell. And as we have been saying, Derry certainly coming out on top in recent meetings between these 2 sides. Nicely taken there by Kavanagh. But it's a early touch for Linus. It's a nervy touch from Linus under some pressure.
He needs to be careful there, Linus. He's not going to get an awful lot of time in the first 5-10 minutes. Derry are going to be hardy and everything, trying to get the ball back, so he's going to have to get rid of the ball an awful lot quicker than that.
Well, he got away with that one, did the St. Pat's goalkeeper, a 15th league appearance of the season. The player who was signed back in March. St. Pat's just trying to break inside the Derry half of the field. Sent back in by Boyce. And now St. Pat's get it back on this left side with Anto Breslin. Nice ball back inside. St. Pat's now with a first real foray inside the Derry half of the field. Heavy touch from Lennon. Well, he switches play intelligently to that right side. St. Pat's looking to build their first attack. The cross in wasn't a good one, though. It's needed to be better.
I expect an awful lot more from Sam Curtis there when he gets the ball on his right foot. You want him to really whip that in, but Derry do enough to get a block on it.
Well, he had the big moment, did Sam Curtis, in the last game we brought to you live, scoring that winner against Shelbourne at Talca Park with a wonderful header. There was 3 headed goals against UCD that did the damage for St. Pat's on Friday night. All 3 goals coming from excellent deliveries from Ben McCormick. St. Pat's just backing off here as Connolly sends that one long. Nicely taken by McElhenney. Ducks the shoulder one way and the other. McElhenney under pressure from Carty. Forrester almost had it for a second. Well won back, lovely little ball, won back by Lennon, who was on the ball now for St. Pat's. Slides it into his midfield colleague and Forrester. Curtis asking an awful lot of Doyle on that occasion, just overcooked the pass. It was good play by St. Pat's.
Yeah, I think we're going to see an awful lot of that in the middle of the pitch, an awful lot of bite in the middle of the tackle. You know, Jamie Lennon, he wants to get round, he wants to win the ball, and he has to stop McElhenney getting his head up, because if he gets his head up, he can definitely open up most defences in this league. And Lennon doing what he needs to do.
Forrester just delayed in possession on that occasion. It was won back by McElhenney. Heavy touch on that occasion was from Kavanagh. McGrath back to Linus, who doesn't try anything clever on this occasion, just goes to the direct ball towards Owen Doyle. It's now 7 league games without a goal for Owen Doyle. His last goal was against Drogheda back in April. Here he is on cue. Referee with a good look at that as the shot comes in, and it's gathered well by the goalkeeper. The breaking ball, it was McCormick who just wrapped that right boot around it and forced the save from Brian Maher.
Yeah, it was a lovely strike from McCormick. You see, as it's dropping out of the sky, it's there to be hit. He hits it really, really well. And I think Maher's maybe a little bit lucky. His position is there, so he doesn't have to move. Had he been a little bit more central in his goal, Brian Maher, I think he might have struggled, but decent strike from McCormick.
Well, he set up 3 goals against UCD, almost scoring the lead goal on that occasion. It's the closest we've come inside the opening 4+ minutes here. Diallo. Now Boyce. Taken on. Crossfield passes from Dunigan. McElhenney. Nicely done by McElhenney. Here comes to Boyce again. Ball just wasn't a good one back inside. Forrester almost got it there. Trying to get there again. Now it's Mark Connolly for Derry. As you would expect inside the opening 5 minutes here, both sides looking to get the ball down and take advantage of what is perfect conditions out there. The pitch in absolutely immaculate condition. Lennon, risky layoff. Derry get it back. Diallo. Quick ball back inside towards Kavanagh. Well defended though. Noah Lewis, who tracked his run all the way and made the important block. It's going to be a corner kick to Derry City.
I think we've seen one of the major battles of the day. Noah Lewis against Kavanagh there. Lewis at the moment just getting out on top. He manages to stop that cross, but Kavanagh is growing in the game. They need to stop the supply going into him.
So a chance for Derry to ask some questions here. Michael Duffy just trying to get a little bit of room to work this corner kick. Not entirely happy with the photographer, but he has his little bit of room now. Well swung in there. Well headed away though. It's Owen Doyle at the near post doing exactly what he was there to do. Boyce now finds himself in a very adventurous position. Played back, and it's side-footed wide by Patrick McElhenney. There was a chance, it was an opening. He had more time than he thought, perhaps. Couldn't get that one on target.
Yeah, really good play. Cammy Dunigan there just hits the switch, and then all of a sudden the ball drops to Boyce. Chris Forrester sells himself way too easy, and McElhenney gets a decent strike at the edge of the box. I don't think Linus in the Pats goal was ever too worried by it. Chris Forrester just needs to get there and put the brakes on and force him backwards. Can't sell yourself that easy in the middle of the pitch.
Well, he's seen plenty of the ball so far, has McElhenney, player who returned to the club last year from Dundalk. This is good now for Pats. It's Forrester. Only had eyes for goal. It was well blocked. Now Diallo, as Derry look to counter. Pats look to get their players back into position. Duffy. To play that one short. McElhenney. He went the more difficult route. And Pats get it back, and Pats clear their lines. There's Jamie Lennon cleaning up there for Pats, but Derry come again. Dangerous ball, goes over everybody's head.
It's not a bad ball into the box at all. The striker's just trying to get in around he's trying to get in front of the defender. The ball goes in around the back. Had he just gambled in around the back, there's every chance he would have been able to get there. Just not on the same wavelength.
Two sides meeting here who like to score goals. St. Pat's has scored 32 goals this season. Only Shamrock Rovers have scored more. Derry with 27, 5 less than tonight's opponents, but they're the joint third top goal scorers in the league. So, as we said at the outset, there's all the ingredients. What should be a great game, and certainly on the evidence of the opening 8.5 minutes here, both sides certainly with intent on attacking. St. Pat's clear that one as far as Connolly. Boyce looked to keep it in play but couldn't do so. Aim towards Doyle. An interesting battle between Doyle and Connolly as the night goes on here in Inchicore. It's a lovely run in behind. The ball isn't a bad one. They're trying to be a little bit too clever. It was Duffy on the end of it. Lovely play by Graydon, though, out wide.
Brilliant little dribble by Graydon. You see Duffy tries to take it into his path. I'd have liked him just open out his foot and just get good contact on that and get it towards the goal. Very, very difficult to bring that under control.
I did say both sides with plenty of attacking threat. But certainly in the last few minutes, Derry with more of it. Here they come again. And it was Lewis who just about got his body shape right to get that one away from danger at the expense of another corner kick.
Derry just starting to turn the screw here. You see Pats are winning the ball, they're trying to get out, but Derry are winning it straight back and just turning that screw again. Pats just need to get their foot on the ball and just kill this little bit of momentum that Derry are building up.
Once again, there'll be a right-footed, in-swinging corner kick from Michael Duffy. Swings that one right on top of the goalkeeper. It's gone behind, but it's going to be another corner kick. The goalkeeper perhaps get a touch on that. Must have. So a third corner kick inside the past couple of minutes for Derry City. A third corner kick for St. Pat's to defend. They've gone really deep in there, have the Derry City players. So this one, once again, is going to be right on top of the goalkeeper. It's gone over everybody.
Yeah, you can see what Derry are trying to do. They're trying to get around the goalkeeper and deliver that ball right under the crossbar, just like they did for the first corner. The second one, not as much quality on it.
Give Pat some praise for how they're playing from an attacking sense. They have not been good defensively, though. They've scored, or they've conceded rather, 27 goals this season. Only the bottom two have conceded more. Busy night, of course, across the Premier Division. A couple of full times to bring you. It has finished a big result for Cork. Cork City 2, Bohemians 1. Another full-time score to bring you as well. Dundalk 4, UCD 1. Two of the earlier starting games this evening. Right here, we still await the lead goal. 12 minutes in. Pressure by St. Pat's in the corner, pinning Derry in, not allowing them to get out of there. So Breslin take this throw for St. Pat's towards Breslin once again. Came off his shin, and Connolly gets the clearance his way as far as Lewis slides that one back in. Never first touch, but there was nobody there. It was Carthy. And Lewis goes for a safety first under a little bit of pressure on that occasion from Kavanagh.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision by Big Noah Lewis. You can want them to play it back to the goalkeeper, but the centre forward's breathing down his neck. Any sort of half-hearted ball back, you're going to put him into real trouble. So just puts it into Rose Ed, go and defend from there.
Doherty on that occasion went straight into danger. Diallo. Direct route. No joy from it, though. Lewis, once again, we mentioned he scored the 2 goals, of course, when he came off the bench on Friday night. The player who joined in January was actually part of the Feyenoord Academy. Pat's come forward again. It's over the bar. Just a little bit of composure was needed. And it wasn't there on that occasion.
No, initially it's really good. There's a fighting ball there. He goes and wins the fight, possibly a foul. You're wanting him to keep his composure, put a decent ball into the box, or even drive into the box with the ball. He doesn't. He wants to take the shot on. Doesn't get it right at all, Conor Carty.
No, we will forgive him that one. As we said, certainly a player who has been good for St. Pat's in front of goal in recent games. Lar links up with Kavanagh. Now Graydon, as busy as ever. This time it's back to Boyce. Now to Mark Conley. Have had their injury issues so far this season of Derry. Glad to have Conley back. He's almost presented there to Doyle. Smart play with the goalkeeper, Brian Maher, who was quick on the scene there to see that there was a little bit of a danger occurring. A big save against Shelbourne, saving that penalty on Friday as well. Curtis. Didn't do too much with that. It's a disappointing ball. Once again, so it was McCormick.
Yeah, you can see what McCormick's thinking. When that ball comes down to him, he's expecting Anto Breslin to be going on the overlap. He was going on the overlap, but he was being tracked by the Derry winger. The pass was never ever on. That's why you don't play blind square passes.
Boyce into Kavanagh. Let's get it back though. Here is McCormick trying to release Owen Doyle on his way. Well defended by Boyce though. He was as tight as he could be to Doyle. McElhenney. Lennon now gets himself a little bit of room. Good strength by Jamie Lennon. Doyle was almost on his way. A flag had gone up anyway. He was offside. Nice bit of football by St. Pat's though, going from back to front very quickly.
Yeah, there you see what Pats are trying to do. They're trying to play through the middle. It's really good. Anto Breslin's bombing down the left wing. He's attracting bodies. That gives the little hole in the middle for Owen Doyle to make the run through. The pass is a little bit overhit. He's offside as well. But you can see Pats are trying to play through the lines and the towards.
Duffy. The target was Graydon, didn't reach him though. Anto Breslin. Defended by Jay McGrath. Breslin again. It's a back from Len. Here is Jay McGrath. It's a wonderful ball for Sam Curtis. Beautiful pass by the central defender. Belonging to Coventry City, who will be leaving. Will be a free agent this summer. Free kick goes the way of Derry City.
Yeah, you see that big diag from McGrath. It's a lovely ball. Sam Curtis takes it out of the sky straight away. But you see Derry, they're not too flustered about it. They just have to slide and move across the pitch. They do it really well as a unit. So although the ball is brilliant, if the units move like they should do and like Derry have been doing, it's still very, very hard to hurt them from there.
Taken by Brian Maher. We did say he's a former St. Pat's player, never actually played for the senior side though. Joined Derry from Bray last year. And he sent that one long. Pats have a back though. McCormick. Yallow did well. McCormick trying to get it back from him. St. Pat's have got it back now thanks to some good play by McCormick. It's asking too much of Conor Carthy. Derry had a good spell around about 5 or so minutes ago, but you imagine that man John Daly will be happier with how his side have played in the last couple of moments. Certainly St. Pat's seeing more of the ball inside the Derry half of the field. Chance now for both sets of players to take on some water as the running repairs happen from out there. You can see it quickly. The outfield players on both sides made their way over to get the water on board. It is a really warm evening just as these running repairs happen for Brian Marr. But Keith, 19 minutes gone, who's the happier of the two managers, do you think?
Yeah, I can see both being happy. I think Rory Higgins will obviously be happy being the away team. Probably started the better 5-10 minutes. They were just coming out on top of those little battles, starting to turn the screw. But the last couple of minutes or so, it feels like Pats have been coming out on top now in that midfield battle. There's an awful lot of bite in the tackle in midfield, but Pats are picking up the second balls. And once or twice, they've had an avenue to go in behind and hurt Derry straight away. But the pass has just been overhitting. There's a lovely little battle between Owen Doyle and Mark Connolly just starting to flourish now off the ball. You can see when Pats win the ball, I'm throwing my eye straight to Owen Doyle and Mark Connolly. It's getting very, very physical. Two older members of the team. Be an awful lot of hustle and bustle there.
Just a 7th league appearance of the season from Mark Doyle, player who signed from Dundee United last year. Ex-Dundalk player, of course. Really, when it comes to the CV, Owen Doyle has been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Hugely successful career for the St. Pat striker, second season after joining from Bolton at the start of last season. He was actually the second top goal scorer in the league last season with 14 goals. He scored over 200 goals and over 60 club appearances across the Republic of Ireland, Scotland and England. League 2 winner 3 times with Chesterfield, Portsmouth and Swindon. Here he is, Doyle with the layoff. Carthy. Curtis to Forrester. He was quick on that. His quick thinking just wasn't read by Carthy. Tried to go along with that, do so. Doyle set it back into where McCormick was. The clearance goes all the way through to Dean Linus. Jay McGrath chips one over the top. Doyle's not going to get there though. Lennon was just cleaning up one of his back four. Carthy did well there. Forrester, Lennon again for St. Pat's. It's a poor ball by Lennon. Too often do you say that, but it was poor. Kavanagh. Support now arriving as Kavanagh gets back into position. 2 in there. Grayton's in there as well. And it was defended by McGrath. Have prevented that from going behind for the corner kick. Coming together between 2 St. Pat's players.
Jamie Lennon from Chris Forrester just having a word with Jamie Lennon as he walks past him. Has to be very, very careful there because Derry are set. They're in a really good position. Any sort of ball that they can go and get, they will go and get it. They win it there, and all of a sudden it looks like a 3v3 picture. Pats do very well to snub it out, but you won't want to give Derry too many opportunities like that.
Sam Curtis. Decision goes the way of Owen Doyle, so it's going to be a free kick for St. Pat's just inside their own half of the field. The Nova side have a job on here. Very much a title-chasing side. Of course, he guided Derry to the FAI Cup last season. 13 points behind Shamrock Rovers last season. To bridge that gap this year. Just want to go a third game, dropping points. Is Rory Higgins. McCormick. Diallo has committed a foul, so it'll be a free kick for St. Pat's.
I think Ben McCormick's done really well there. Gets into a little hole of space, takes a touch. I think he's overran it and just goes and buys the free kick out of Diallo. Diallo's not too happy, but well played from McCormick.
Will be Ben McCormick who will take this free kick. Derry have all their players inside their own half of the field, all in around the edge of the penalty area. And the outfield players. McCormick now right-footed, goes towards the back post where Noah Lewis was. That combination worked a treat against UCD, just didn't really work on that occasion.
Yeah, you know, it's too floaty of a ball. Even if the Saints' Pat Heads does get the force contact, it's such a floaty ball. You've had to generate all the power yourself from your neck muscle to try and get a good, strong header on target. He needs to be whipping that in an awful lot flatter to give his lads a chance.
Here's Shane McElhenney. Doherty back to former St. Pat's player again. Marr. Boyce. Conley. Saves that one into Kavanagh, yeah. Graydon. McElhenney wasn't a good delivery. To try to slide that one in the path of Graydon in between the lines, and just had not got the execution on it.
Yeah, good defender from Breslin as well. He sees the run and just ushers Kavanagh out of the way, make sure he can't get onto the end of the ball. That's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see Patrick McElhenney on the edge of your own 18-yard box getting his head up, because he will click at some point. He has the talent to hurt you.
Again, a little bit of composure just wasn't there on that occasion. Feel this game just needs a little bit of spark just to set it up a little bit. We had that McCormick effort early on in the game, but no huge clear-cut chances on either end. McCormick did force a save from the goalkeeper, but a little bit short of chances. Breslin, they track the run all the way, and Linus comes across and claims at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was just only 3 points behind these two teams in the league, Byrne, so we knew it was going to be very, very close. And I'm looking at this, I don't think there's an awful lot at the top end of the pitch with St. Pat's up front, Derry up front. I don't think there's an awful lot between them.
Doyle in behind, and it's gone behind. Good opening, good chance. He was the right man to be on the end of it. Just couldn't send that one on target.
That's what Owen Doyle gives you. The education of his movement is absolutely brilliant. The ball is excellent. There's a bit of backspin on it. It holds up in the grass, and he gets away from Conley. Mark comes rushing out of the goal. He tries to lift her over, and very, very difficult chance. But you see, it's not the speed of Owen Doyle that gets him in behind. It's just his speed of thought. It's so, so good. A player of his quality be wanting to do a lot better with that there.
Lovely ball to release him by Jane McGrath. Here is McGrath. Doyle. He ducked there. It was one of the air by Conley. Lewis. All fans like that. Decent ball to find Curtis. Now Carthy. Oh, lovely play by St. Pat's. And they're in it behind here. They can pick out the right pass, and they just couldn't do so. Sweeping move to work the opening. Just when they got in the final third, the pass just wasn't there.
There's a lovely little flick around the corner from Chris Forrester. They're open up the whole pitch. Just gets a little bit muddled in his thinking process there. You want him to keep driving with the ball. He gets stuck under his feet. He takes an extra touch, and it just manages to get the Derry players set a little bit more here. But you see the vision of Chris Forrester here. Just a little flick around the corner, opens up the whole pitch. It's that second touch there that's just a little bit behind him.
McCormick. McGrath to Lewis. Curtis. It's going to be a goal kick. We're still awaiting the lead goal here. There has been a big goal in the game between Sligo Rovers and Shamrock Rovers, where it's currently Sligo Rovers 0, Shamrock Rovers 1. Rory Gaffney in the 53rd minute has given the league leaders and defending champions the lead in that game. Shane McElhenney. Conley. Looked up. All about the direct ball towards Duffy on that far side. Keeps it instead. Once again to Conley. Sizes up his options. Bit of a run on the right-hand side by Boyce. Instead plays it short to Shane McElhenney. Diallo now. Good idea by Conley. And find Darty on that far side, couldn't do so though. Ball over the top. The flag has now got up. As Patrick McElhenney was on his way. Second goal to report, by the way, in that game we've been speaking about. It's now Sligo Rovers 0, Shamrock Rovers 2. Same man with the second goal 3 minutes later. So 2 for Rory Gaffney, first in the 53rd minute, the second in the 56th minute. Shamrock Rovers looking good for all 3 points in that game. There's a little bit more pressure on Derry to try to get a result here. Shamrock Rovers on their way in that game.
Just thinking from an Owen Doyle point of view, generally you would let one of the centre-halves have the ball because they're not quite as good on the ball as the rest of the players. But when you look at Connolly and McElhenney, both very, very capable of playing those passes into the strikers, the long breaking diags as well. So not too sure which one you'd leave on the ball. They're both decent footballers.
McElhenney back to Connolly. Once again goes the direct route, asking some questions on that St. Pat's defence. Lewis did well. Breslin has a bit of a work for himself here. Now here's Boyce. Diallo. And he had Connolly as an option. Hangs on to it. Just took a nick off Owen Doyle before it went out of play. Connolly takes the throw for Derry. To McElhenney, to Connolly again. Now Shane McElhenney. Duffy. Good delivery. Needed defending it was by Breslin for now. Here's Boyce. Dummigan. Lewis was under that one for St. Pat's. Forrester just toe pokes it on its way. Can't reach Owen Doyle though. And Doherty sends it back to Brian Marr. A wonderful ball in the direction of Graydon. Couldn't make enough connection with the head to help it on its way.
such a tight game out there, Bernard, especially in the middle of the pitch. I'm sure at half-time, when the two managers do get a word in, they'll be saying, don't be the one to make a mistake. I have a feeling that this game is going to hinge on a mistake by the opposition, so don't be the one to make the mistake. Keep things nice and tight. If you get a chance to hit the back of the net, be absolutely ruthless.
Doyle putting some pressure on Boyce unfairly. He's given away the free kick for the foul. Conley will take this one. Back once again to Conley. Shane McElhenney. Doherty. Not for the first time. A Derry player has got on the ball in possession, looked up to see what options he has, and just wasn't convinced by where he could send the ball. Gone direct again. They've used that more and more inside the last couple of moments. Just on that occasion, it was again just overhit past Patrick McElhenney.
I like the thought process behind it though, Bernard. You can see that when when Derry play the ball back to Brian Maher, the Pats players are squeezing right up onto the halfway line, so there's 60-70 yards of green gas, and Mark Conley's just chipping it in behind and telling these runners, go and get after that. And if the timing is right, there's every chance they could get in with the likes of Duffy running in behind and Cavanagh. So just need to be wary of that.
Well, they certainly have got the pace to try and get in behind. Here is Cavanagh, Diallo. No fouls as the referee. Derry wanted a foul for potential tug of the jersey and the challenge. The referee says both were good. McCormick, he's done well. Lennon. Inside for Adam Murphy. Lennon stretching, couldn't get there. Here's Jay McGrath now for St. Pat's. It's opened up ahead of him. McGrath! Goalkeeper got a hand to it, not strong enough. St. Pat's take the lead thanks to a wonderful strike from a long way out from their central defender, and it's the home fans who celebrate.
Yeah, when McGrath steps in, the whole pitch opens up. You can see Derry are set. They're expecting the ball to go out wide. The big centre-half steps in here. Diallo doesn't do enough. You see Dummigan trying to get across. He's almost there. Maher does get a good strong hand on it, but it's not strong enough. Rory Higgins will be having a look at that, and he will not be happy. His centre midfielders can do a lot more. His centre-half can come out and engage, and Brian Maher should do an awful lot more with the shot, but take nothing away from McGrath. Steps in. It's a decent strike.
It's a first goal for St. Pat's for Jay McGrath this season. Take nothing away from the strike. Question marks perhaps about the defending and goalkeeping, but that's a great strike by Jay McGrath, who had a wonderful ball to set Old Doyle on his way about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Nice way to open your account. Now Derry really have a job on here. Real danger now of dropping points for the third game in a row. Plenty of time for Derry. They need to dust themselves down. They have yet to really ask any questions of Dean Linus or that St. Pat's defence.
It's a Pats team without their two starting centre-halves, with Rogowski and Joe Redmond both missing, so you would imagine that Derry would have put them under an awful lot more pressure, asked an awful lot more questions of Noah Lewis and McGrath at the back. The minute it's been quite comfortable for St. Pat's.
The second top goal scorers in the SSE Electricity League have scored again this season. McCormick. Here is McCormick. That was an acute angle. There was so much traffic between him and the goal. But he's taken the shot on. That isn't too far away. St. Pat's definitely have the wind in their sails right now.
Yeah, it's lovely play from McCormick again. Here, just the McGrath goal again. When he steps in there, somebody's got to get into his face. Diallo lets him go way too easy. Dummigan is a little bit slow getting across. And then Marr just compounds a mistake on top of a mistake. He should save it. You see Diallo there. He's letting him do that. He should not be doing that. Dummigan needs to be over on the cover. McElhenney or Connolly's got to go out and engage. And you see McElhenney's reaction to Brian Marr. He wasn't happy that he didn't save it either.
A reminder, if this match finishes in a victory for St. Pat's, they would move level on points with Derry City. And this remarkable run of form would continue. We've got plenty of work to do between now and full time to achieve that. They just get better for St. Pat's here. They're on their way. It's Owen Doyle. Owen Doyle, and he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. He made himself big, did Marr, but Doyle should have scored. You would have backed him to score from there. Massive chance for St. Pat's.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bernard. I thought as soon as Owen Doyle races free and he's one-on-one, I'm just waiting on the back of the net to ripple. It doesn't. He hits it straight down the middle. Brian Marr keeps his team in the game with that save. You see here, Owen Doyle all the time in the world. Sometimes that's a striker's worst nightmare when they have time to think about it. McElhenney won't want to see this again. Owen Doyle all the time in the world. One touch, two touch, gets himself set. That's straight down the middle. He's got to do an awful lot better. A man of his talents needs to hit the back of the net there, but McElhenney, big sigh of relief from him.
He tried justifying that far corner. It wasn't far enough into the corner. It wasn't far enough away from the goalkeeper. And Marr with a big save. Really feel if Pats were to score a second before half-time, it will be very uncomfortable for Derry. As it is, it's turning into a very uncomfortable night for Derry in Inchicore. Not just because they're 1-0 down, but because they just have not had that cutting edge in front of goal. And defensively, they've made a big mistake for the goal they've conceded. Derry could be happy to see half-time. Pats don't want to see half-time.
From a Derry point of view, St. Pat's do let in goals. They have let in goals this season. They're very good in an attacking sense. We know that. We've just seen that. But from a Derry point of view, they will get chances in this game. They just have to still be in the game when it comes around. So, got to dig in here. And worst comes to worst, they go in 1-0 down.
And another free kick. Spot of climbing by Noah Lewis. Pushed plenty on at Derry. Pats won the free kick. They won the header as well. Jamie Lennon, I think. They won't be happy with how his side played and defended, or attempted to defend, with the goal they conceded. Rory Higgins. I think the pressure was on this evening. He did say how good of a team St. Pat's are and how they're banging form. Just be starting to worry about it right now. Down towards Doyle. Be an awful lot worse for Derry right now if Doyle had taken a chance. Forrester, Doyle. It's on well as old Doyle. Follow for Carthy. Here's Doyle! Well, he gave that plenty. Just over the bar. And that was the chance, Keith. He hadn't got time to think about.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Owen Doyle. Just a reaction shot, very little backlift. When it pops out there, straight away I was thinking, go on, hit it. It's exactly what he does. Just a yard or so over the post. Really good strike. Brian Marr wouldn't have had much chance of getting anything on that. Great strike from Doyle.
Another chance for St. Pat's. There's that Marr save from McCormick. Big chance from Doyle, which was saved by Marr. That one over the bar as well. There's the yellow card that was given to Shane McElhenney. shrugs his shoulders though. He just plays it short to Shane McElhenney, who then plays a square pass to Conley. Once again, it's the diagonal towards Duffy. Coming onto it was Doherty. St. Pat's have got the fight as that one has slid forward towards Doyle. It's too far ahead of Doyle.
Brilliant from Jamie Lennon though. 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 tackle, wins them all, and then you see he gets his head up, tries to slip Doyle through. The timing's not quite there, but all the desire, all the fight in the world from Jamie Lennon. That's exactly what you want in the middle of the pitch.
So Pats are ticking all the right boxes for their supporters and for their manager in this opening half. Defensively good. They've taken one of the chances that's come their way. And they have created plenty. They have got the fight as well. McElhenney has a flag up though.
That's awful. It's absolutely criminal. When you're looking across the whole line there, you can't be caught offside. I've had an earful many a time when I get caught offside in them situations. Managers, coaches absolutely hate it. Looking across the whole line, still gets caught offside. Really poor stuff.
Ben Doherty, who scored a penalty in the 2-0 victory at the Brandywell earlier this season, who was caught offside on that occasion.
I think Derry have they've been moving the ball too slowly. You know, Connolly's been on the, McElhenney's been in at the 2 centre halves. They're trying long diags, but nothing's really coming off just yet for Derry. And we know they have the talent to tick in the final third, but the first 45 minutes just hasn't been good enough.
There's 2 additional minutes, which we've now began. So Pat's 2 minutes away from a half-time break. Will be a happy one for them. Be even happier here. Derry with some serious questions to ask in that dressing room at half-time. Too much on that. It's got to go behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, from a Derry point of view, I don't think they need to panic just yet. An awful lot of talent on the bench as well, with McGonigal, McJanna, Kavanagh. Awful lot of players that can come on and change the game. So I think Rory will be getting into them at half-time and demanding just a little bit more work rate and a little bit more desire in the middle of the pitch.
There is Rory Higgins. Lewis commanding in the air once again on that occasion. McElhenney, a little bit of pressure from Doyle. Perhaps took his eye off the ball. Both goalkeepers have had nervy moments.
Would have been in his mouth there, it's a bad touch, but gets away with it in the end.
It's almost a Peter Enkelman moment there from the Derry City goalkeeper. There's the half-time whistle. St. Pat's in front at half-time at Inchicore. A wonderful strike from Jay McGrath from a long way out, which wasn't defended terribly well. Question marks perhaps about the goalkeeper Brian Marr, would take nothing away from the strike. Derry with work to do in the second half. St. Pat's on their way to continuing this excellent run of form. Half-time at Richmond Park. It's St. Pat's 1, Derry City 0.
Yeah, Jay McGrath is the chant ringing around Richmond Park this evening so far. 1-0 to Pats, the young centre half, with the only goal of the game so far. And the match stats reflecting Pat's dominance, certainly in terms of scoring attempts, although Derry have had the majority of possession. Much of it has been pretty harmless areas, Pats creating more chances, looking the more dangerous. And Vinnie Perth, that Jay McGrath goal kind of summed up what's been good about Pats and what's been not so good about Derry, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, the young players of St. Pat's really got going in the second half of the first part of the first half. But Pat's just that midfield three, just a little bit too defensive, two number sixes, and Patrick McElhenney in the 10 dropping in. And Pat's, as you said, Ben McCormick coming in narrow off the left, and that's hurting Derry, and it's confusing Derry's midfield shape. And then just from there, there's Ben McCormick picking up in that, so he all of a sudden is in that number 10 position, almost breaks down. But Jay McGrath, look, Diallo caught in two minds. Does he press? Does he go in after people? Too late for Dummican to react, and it's in the back of the net. And I think the goalkeeper should save that. I'd be bitterly disappointed. But it's so easy to just step into that space as centre half.
Owen Doyle makes a little run, Tommy, on this and pulls Mark Connolly away and opens up the gap for Jay McGrath. I thought Jay McGrath had a very good first half, by the way, apart from the goal, because he's had an indifferent time lately in the first team when he's played, but he's played very well today. He went off injured in UCD on Friday night. They didn't think he was going to be fit
They really
for the
needed
game.
him this evening with those defensive injuries you were talking about before the game. He's involved in one of these chances we're going to look at from a Pat's point of view. It's been good watch from Pat's point of view after that initial Derry spell earlier in the game.
Yeah, well, this was very early in the match. Ben McCormick, a bit of a scrap here. Owen Doyle using his experience. It breaks off the yellow. Ben McCormick snapshot. Ryan Maher, not much in that. Now, that was 3 minutes in, but here's Jay McGrath, 26 minutes in, and we hadn't seen Owen Doyle hardly get a touch of the ball before now. I thought he should have scored. As it hopped, he makes contact, but he kind of went to lift her over the keeper and didn't get it on target. Young Conor Carter been very good on the right wing, and Adam Murphy breaking forward here, doesn't find the right pass. Ben McCormick free on the edge of the box. Again, Pat's making chances, good little 1-2s around the edge of the penalty area.
It's good stuff, Vinny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and they've showed a real determination. Again, that's that Ben McCormick in that position. This sums up Derry. Patrick McElhenney, a little bit frustrated, dropping into midfield, getting off his brother in the centre half position. Shane's very lucky there to get away with something, and Owen Doyle has got a score. That's a huge chance. You would say Pats could go on and win the game from there. So big moment for Pats to go and win it. But Owen Doyle hasn't been overly in the game, but he's shown the experience.
Yeah, he's had those two certainly excellent chances, and that one looked like it was heading for the top corner. John Daly very happy. Obviously, Rory Higgins won't be happy. And look, you touched on it there. All through that first half, you're looking at that Derry midfield. You don't like the look of it. I mean, chances-wise, scraps, bits of. I mean, early on they looked good, but.
Yeah, we spoke about Derry before the game, and there's Patrick McElhenney in that number 10 position, and I've seen him find the back of net so many times from here. But the big threat has to be down that left-hand side. It's Ben Doherty this time. Him and Michael Duffy have probably been the big threats. That's a really good ball, and they're probably lacking the centre forward in the middle of the pitch, just going get on the end of a couple of these crosses.
Sure, we haven't. You know, when they have got the crosses in, very ineffective. No real challenge on Noah Lewis or Jay McGrath. Duffy, you think he's going to be a big threat in the match. This time he gets the cross in, but not a brilliant cross. Jay McGrath deals with it. So ineffective in the final third, I'd say, with Derry, whereas Pats have been quite a threat at times once they got through the first 25 minutes of the match.
Indeed, yeah, it's an important 45 minutes ahead for both teams. Pats with the advantage at the break. Second half from Richmond Park coming up. Stay with us.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage. SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
Now, more European silverware up for grabs on Wednesday night. It's Fiorentina versus West Ham in the Conference League final. We're on from 7:30 for that. Some top-class racing action on the way on Saturday. First up on Virgin Media 1, racing from Haydock. Feature event there, the Haydock Cup. And later on, Virgin Media 2, we have the Belmont Stakes from Belmont Park in Elmont, New York. Look forward to that. Elsewhere then, it's Sligo Rovers against Shamrock Rovers at the Showgrounds. We'll be heading back to Richmond Park shortly, where Pats leads Derry. But this is going well for Shamrock Rovers up that top end. They are in control there. It's Rory Gaffney's show 2 goals from him. They came in the second half. Johnny Kenny, the former Sligo player, squaring it for the striker with a simple finish there. Had a bit more work to do in this one, and he finished it nicely. Just hearing that it is actually 3-0 there. Only a few minutes left in Sligo. Excellent evening's work for the champions. Aaron Green with the third there. So that scoreline you see on your screen is out of date. Shamrock Rovers cruising there to victory. And obviously, as if St. Pat's stay in a winning position against Derry, they will be 4 points clear at the top of the table, and Derry and Pats will be level on points if it stays like that. Big result elsewhere, by the way, you probably saw there. Cork City beating Bohemians 2-1, so it's 4 wins out of 4 from them. This is a massive half for Derry City then, Vinny. I imagine Rory Higgins will make changes, will certainly want to see a different approach from his team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to think he's got into them. If you want to win a league title, these are the moments for a big night on a Monday night after a Friday night game. Got to do something a little bit different as the game goes on. He probably needs to change the balance in midfield, have like a 6, 8 and 10 in there, but got to get after Pats. This is a big moment, I feel, for Derry if they want to win the league.
Indeed.
And I know it's early in the season.
Indeed it is. Yeah, let's get back for the second half. As you can see, both teams are ready to rock with Bernard and Keith.
Thanks, Tommy. Yes, all set to go for the second half. There has been one change at half-time made by Derry City. O'Neill has been brought on from Michael Duffy. Duffy got a bit of a knock, it appeared, towards the end of the first half. Perhaps that's the main reason why Duffy has been hauled ashore. So one change by Derry, who will hope for plenty of changes in terms of how they go about their business in this second half. It was not a good first half. Why the Candy Stripes? Or the same, the aim for St. Pat's, you feel, in this second half. Still leading thanks to that wonderful goal from Jay McGrath. Sam Curtis with this throw-in. Republic of Ireland under-21 international. Doyle, nice footwork by Doyle, and the shot comes in. That is not too far away. A lovely opening. It's the player they wanted on the end of it in Conor Carthy.
A nice start. Nice bright start to the half for St. Pat's. Just a long ball, win a throw in, and all of a sudden they get it into Owen Doyle's feet. He manages to lay it off to Conor Carthy. No backlift really, just gets a decent strike. Deflection just brings it ever so close wide, but set piece to be defended now from Derry.
Stood up towards the far post. The goalkeepers tried to claw it away and couldn't do so. Diallo gets it away now for Derry City. All the way back to Linus in goal for St. Pat's. Away by Boyce. Wins it well in the air. Now the injection of pace comes in from Graydon. It's good strength by Jamie Lennon, who has been fouled by Graydon. He's won a free kick for his side.
That's brilliant again from Jamie Lennon. Goes into so many battles, ends up coming out the right side of this one again. Him and Kavanagh going toe to toe. Jamie Lennon coming out on top.
Curtis. And the last go off, the last touch the head of Doherty. Curtis will take this. Pats. It's a heavy touch by Chris Forrester. Not too often you say that. Doherty decides to go short, and then it's up and under of the clearance. Diallo looks to trap it, can't do so. McElhenney and Diallo. It's good play by McCormick. Now Carthy. Curtis available to him. Said he goes back to Jamie Lennon. Back in towards Carthy. Just looking to play off the shoulder if he can. Back it goes to Forrester. Another big chance for St. Pat's. Still they come through Curtis. St. Pat's have absolutely began this second half as they finish the first. Two big chances.
Yeah, very big chance there for Chris Forrester. When he gets it onto his left foot here, it's brilliant play from Conor Cartney to pick him out. Gets it onto his left foot, brilliant ball manipulation. You want him to just open out his foot and just pass that into the far corner. He puts his laces through it. Brian Marr stands up tall and manages to get his body behind it. Chris Forrester, a man of his talent, should be just passing that into the back of the net.
Looking for his 9th league goal of the season. That's a second big save. One from Owen Doyle in the first half. Now one from Chris Forrester in the second half. Two big saves made by the Derry City goalkeeper, Brian Marr. Maybe called into action here again. Well, this time from a long way out. Forrester has a go. No danger to Marr. And the Derry City goal, however.
Yeah, you can see as soon as Chris gets it out with feet, he wants to just put his laces through it, get a bit of movement on the ball. Gets it all wrong. Very, very easy for Mark.
Layoff there was from Kavanagh. Gallo coming onto it, couldn't do anything with it though. Connolly skies up into the air. Not looking comfortable at all now, Derry City. Doherty slides one in towards Kavanagh, who was just helped on his way by Lewis. So it's going to be a free kick to Derry City. A little shove in the back by Noah Lewis.
Yeah, really clever from Kavanagh. He knows he's outnumbered when that ball's rolled into his feet. He knows big Noah Lewis is going to be right up his backside. Feels a little bit of a push in the back. Goes over, wins a free kick for his team. This is not something that Rory Higgins will want to be looking at. Patrick McElhenney needing a bit of treatment.
He's not the player they want to lose, having already lost Duffy at half-time. Once again now a chance for players to get some water on board.
Yeah, just one or two strange decisions from me, Bernard, from a Derry point of view. You see the ball's dropping out of the sky. There's 2 or 3 Pats players around Diallo, and rather than Diallo just hooking it into a decent area, he's actually trying to take it down when he's 3 players around him. Your touch has got to be 10 out of 10 to trap that. It wasn't, and Pats go and win the ball. So for me, just play in the right areas. Derry are trying to force it at the minute. The Pats press is really, really good, so just get Pats running towards their own goal, and the holes will start to appear in the middle of the pitch. At the minute, they're trying to force it. Pats are nicking them.
Not a good run of form for Derry City. A 1-0 defeat away to Sligo last week. Of course, they had that goalless draw against Shelburne at home on Friday. Not looking good so far here. They play Bohemians at home next weekend for the break. Will be off the pace in terms of where they want to be. One of the sides really earmarked to challenge for the title this year. Speaking of sides challenging for the title, a full-time score in the Battle of the Rovers has gone firmly the way of Shamrock Rovers. Full-time score, Sligo Rovers 0, Shamrock Rovers 3. Aaron Green with the 3rd goal. Rory Gaffney got 2 goals in that game. Green with the 3rd goal 2 minutes from full-time for Shamrock Rovers. So Shamrock Rovers doing their bit. Derry, seen by many as their nearest challengers, not doing their bit here. There's going to be a number of changes being made here by Derry City. Cameron Janet first to be introduced. Shane McElhenney off for him. And Patrick McElhenney replaced by Jordan McAniff. Change is meant to be made as well. The boo treatment you hear is for the former St. Pat's player Adam O'Reilly, who is being introduced to come on and play against his former club. Player we expected to see from the start, but he's on now is O'Reilly.
Yeah, he's here for the first game of the season. Adam O'Reilly started for Derry. He got a bit of rough treatment. There was a few tackles flying around. So I expect Adam O'Reilly now just to put a bit of bite into the Derry midfield and try and get them on the front foot.
Here is Conley. Conley again. long towards Kavanagh. Straight into it is McAniff. That's gone behind for a goal kick.
Again, Derry getting into a decent position in the pitch, but the quality just letting them down again. Really poor cross.
It's been a good night so far for those travelling Derry City supporters. Not a huge number of them on this Bank Holiday Monday. Glum faces all around from the travelling supporters. Forrester. Step over by McCormick. I think he thought that Breslin was further advanced than he actually was, though. One for O'Reilly to chase. Off his line, quick and smart was the goalkeeper Linus. From one goalkeeper to the other, it's Brian Marr.
That has looked Derry's best route to goal at the minute. The little ball over the top when Pats push up to the halfway line. They're clipping balls over the top for runners, and once or twice they haven't been a million miles away, but haven't got it right just yet.
O'Neill. First time clearance by Dean Linus. And back on by Connolly. Now one of those substitutions that's come on. McAniff. O'Reilly's cross doesn't beat the first man. O'Reilly back down once again. St. Pat's very deep at the moment. Derry look to try and build something from here. Boyce. Once again, St. Pat's defending well. McAniff. The decision goes against him. Free kick to St. Pat's. And that attack has now really been broken down for Derry City.
Yeah, Jamie Lennon's been excellent for that. St. Pat's just breaking up the play. Anytime the ball's gone into any of the strikers, they're trying to lay things off. Jamie Lennon's getting in the face, breaking up the play. You see now they'll take about 20-30 seconds to get this ball back in play, and any sort of momentum that Derry are trying to build on, Pats are just nullifying it.
See if the diagonal was on once again. It was. Instead, Derry just keep it down. Doherty getting no change whatsoever off Sam Curtis. McJanet switches play. McAniff, any real purchase on that. We heard the boo treatment for Adam O'Reilly. As you said, former St. Pat's player, signed from Preston in January, spent last season on loan here for St. Pat's, played in the Conference League. He's got a massive goal in the win against Dundalk as Pat's in the race for Europe as well. Now firmly in the Derry City corner, however. Dunigan, now Connolly. Higgins has made plenty of changes, but still the same pattern to this game. The Derry defenders on the ball, plenty. No real options for them ahead. Forced to hit it long, we'll go for that big diagonal. Finding that midfield area hard to break down. This is some really good St. Pat's play. Led, of course, in that engine room by Jamie Lennon. Here is O'Reilly. cross in there. Goalkeeper needs to be careful. He's been fouled by Keane Cavilla. Dean Linus. Will be a free kick for St. Pat's.
Yeah, really good from Linus. He knows he's going to take a whack. He knows Cavanagh's going to go and jump with him. Has to go and get 2 hands on it and take the whack. He does exactly what he needs to do. It's the free kick for his team.
Linus back on his feet. Still very much in the balance this game. I feel Derry will improve as this half goes on. They have a chance to improve here. Referee's going to play advantage. The Derry City player down. Here's O'Reilly. Story would be if he can get a goal against St. Pat's to try and get Derry back in this game. Great. Forced away from goal though. Gets a round of applause from the St. Pat's fans. McJanet finds Doherty. Dummigan. This is better from Derry. Boyce. Gives it away. Doyle was all alone. Murphy. Not a huge amount of options ahead of him for Adam Murphy. But he's held on to possession well here. Slides it in, helped on by Forrester. This is good for St. Pat's. Doyle went down inside the penalty area. Nothing was doing there. Curtis, now Lennon. Switches play well, just when it needed to be good. St. Pat's player lost his footing at the key moment. It was Chris Forrester. Referee is dished out the yellow card there. I think it was.
Yeah, it's a really good foul from Adam Moore because Ronan Boyce has got the ball and all of a sudden the Pats players are caught up the pitch. But he recognises it, just gives away a little foul. The dark arts of the game. Sometimes you need to foul the team. Pats recognising the situation and doing it well there.
There's the penalty shout as well from Owen Doyle, which the referee Neil Doyle wasn't interested in. Now we're gone. At Richmond Park, you certainly can't argue with the scoreline. St. Pat's good for that 1-0 lead. Kniff looking to make a nuisance of himself. Goal scorer McGrath does well and boots that one away. And in doing so, sets away Owen Doyle.
Finish from Owen Doyle. Once he gets into that situation, you always back him, just like I did in the first half, but this time he hits the back of the net. It's really, really poor defending from Derry again. You see McGrath on the ball, just one big long ball, and it takes the whole Derry team out of it. Conley's looking at Marr, telling him to come off his line. Marr's looking at Conley, telling him to get back. It's all about Owen Doyle. Can he keep his composure? He can. He just feeds it into the far post. Brilliant, brilliant finish.
7 games without a goal for Owen Doyle. He has not scored since the 10th of April against Drogheda. But the 35-year-old has got himself back on the score sheet, back amongst the goals. He had plenty of work to do, but he had the confidence, and as the Derry defenders tried to get there, they couldn't. Neither could the goalkeeper. Doyle with the finish, and that could be a big goal on the night here. Could be a big goal in Derry and St. Pat's seasons as well.
It's just the basics of defending, Bernard. You can't get done with one big long ball. You're not set up right if one big long ball can do that to your defence. And Derry just aren't set up right. One big long ball, and Owen Doyle runs in behind. And as we said, he's not the quickest of players. It's just his thought process is ahead of everybody else. Keeps his composure really well. Just feeds it into the back of the net.
Well, no sooner has he finished celebrating scoring than he's been hauled ashore. Owen Doyle. That's the end of his night, but it's a wonderful finish. The change is being made. Fresh legs being brought on by John Daly. Well, Doyle, you can't argue with his last contribution.
Yeah, to be fair, Bernard, I know John Daly will be looking at his scoring stats, but Owen Doyle is probably unique in the way that he doesn't have to score to have a good game. A lot of strikers need to hit the back of the net to have a good game. Not Owen Doyle. He brings an awful lot more than goals to this St. Pat's team.
He's got fresh legs on. He got fresh legs involved. Forrester almost got on the ball on that occasion. McJanet. Decent delivery. Across everyone. Dangerous ball sent back in, and it's cleared. The header. Follow-up shot, and it's a superb block, but it's got in. Game back on. And it's a former St. Pat's player, Keane Kavanagh, who's got Derry back in this game. Well, there are a number of chances in quick succession. Crucially, Kavanagh has produced the finish, and we're in for an interesting half hour or so here in Inchicore.
This is what I expect to see a lot more of Derry, putting the ball into the box, putting the two centre-halves of St. Pat's under an awful lot of pressure. There's a little bit of pinball stuff, possibly a handball there. It's a good striker, and Kavanagh keeps his eye on it. Linus in the Pat's goal, no chance to react. Game on again here.
Pats come forward at the other end straight away. And it's away from Boyce. The game certainly has picked up a notch or two. Where was the delivery? Which was certainly good. And St. Pat's failed to clear their lines. Jamie Lennon couldn't keep it out, couldn't get the significant block in and deny Kavanagh.
Derry making a sub while they're defending a corner kick. You don't usually see that.
He scored just 3 minutes after going 2-0 down. Brandon Kavanagh is the latest player there bringing on. Goal in this game will be huge. St. Pat's would love to get it. Will be the substitute. The delivery was good, the defending wasn't, and St. Pat's have got their third goal. Massive celebrations. And Derry have it all to do again. A 9th league goal of the season for Chris Forrester.
You see Timmermans here. Initially, I thought the ball was a little bit flat. Chris Forrester makes that run across the 6-yard box. He does really well to direct that into the far post from there. Just helps it on its way. Just nothing more than direction. Doesn't put any power into it. Brilliant ball in. Great set piece. Derry again, just as they get themselves back into it, they're back out of it. Awful stuff from the away team. Chris Forrester won't mind that. Brilliant header from him.
Superb stuff from the evergreen Chris Forrester. The delivery was superb, but just look at this. Peeled off his marker. It's a really difficult header. Arced it over the goalkeeper. 3-1 for St. Pat's.
It's Boyce, isn't it? He's shoulder to shoulder with Boyce. He gets that little 2-yard movement away, and 2 yards at this level is absolutely killer. And Chris Forrester has shown you what he can do with 2 yards of space.
There he is again, Chris Forrester. Carthy drove it straight at Connolly, claims of handball. That one is gone behind for the goal kick. What a big 5 minutes in this game. 62nd minute, Owen Doran makes it 2-0. 65th minute, Kavanagh makes it 2-1. And then just 2 minutes later in the 67th minute, Forrester 3-1 for St. Pat's. Derry need to find something and fast. They need a goal. Ace from Graydon. That's towards the byline. And they've got a corner kick.
Yeah, brilliant defending by Anto Breslin in the end. You thought Kavanagh was just going to get away from him. Comes back for the second bite of the cherry. Puts it behind for the corner kick, but these are big, big moments in the game. You don't want to give Derry an avenue back in from its set piece.
Some balls swung in there. Still there for Derry. As that one is lofted towards the back post. Graydon with the effort. Could not keep it down. Needed to keep it down and couldn't.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he's thinking there. There's so many bodies in the 6-yard box. The ball's come to him. Just fire that across the 6-yard box along the bodies. It's bound to hit somebody and end up in the back of the net. If you do that, you've got zero chance of it ending up in the back of the net. Really, really poor decision making.
Considering the quick-fire goals we had in a 5-minute spell there, 3 goals in 5 minutes, not so long ago, only with 20 minutes remaining, I feel there's plenty of time in this game for another swing in the pendulum here, which is very much stacked in St. Pat's favour right now.
Yeah, but the Pats work rate, the 70 minutes, they put in an awful lot. So you would imagine that coming into the home straight, they are going to come down a little bit, a couple of levels in that work rate. If Derry can go and capitalise on that, we still have a game on our hands. But at the minute, we haven't seen too much from Derry in an attacking sense.
Over 4,000 in Richmond Park this evening, the vast majority of which are here to support St. Pat's, and so far they're very happy. Speculative effort by Forrester, who's very much in the groove now. O'Reilly, Conley. Looking to get there. McAniff, now O'Neill, Curtis for St. Pat's. Forrester is excellent. Murphy, is this the fourth as he pulls it back? Just needed to keep it down, couldn't pick out a teammate, but again, St. Pat's getting so much joy in behind the Derry City defence.
Yeah, it was Murphy's first touch. When Forrester plays that ball to him, he has to take the touch towards goal. He takes it away from goal, which narrows the angle, and he can't have the shot. He tries to dig across out, not quite on the money, but really, really poor from Derry again. Adam O'Reilly loses the battle to Chris Forrester, and he's running at your back four. It's the last thing you want.
attempts to roll that one short. Doherty. Well in that occasion is Adam Murphy.
Derry just don't seem to be learning to me at all. They're still trying to play balls in the wrong areas. They're playing with little 1-2s. They're enticing the Pats press to come and get them. And Pats, they're obliging. They're flying into everything. So at the minute, you've got to play away from the press. Derry are doing exactly what Pats want them to do.
Free kick for the foul by O'Neill on Sam Curtis. I see another change being made by St. Pat's. Maybe the end of Adam Murphy's night, and Jason McClelland is going to come on in his place. Well in there from Carthy. Pats have been on it from the get-go here. Need to be patient for the goals came. But they were really intent causing damage from the off. Throw in there. Again, Pats get it back with ease. Linus. There it is by Jarrett. Doyle, Mark Doyle. It's Timmermans. Lewis needs to be careful. It's Kavanagh. Done well here is Kavanagh, and he's won the free kick for Derry City.
Gets the basics of the game there. When the ball bounced, I'm looking at Noah Lewis and I'm thinking you can't let that ball bounce. If you let it bounce there, you're under all sorts of pressure, and that's exactly the way it plays out. Just get your foot behind it and put it 60-70 yards down the pitch and get Derry to play from there. As it is now, they have a very, very dangerous free kick on the edge of the Pats box.
And they put everybody forward for this. Have Derry, the entire St. Pat's 11 inside their own penalty area right now. Goal here would set us up for a very interesting 12 or 13 final minutes. This is slung in. It's just over. Not too far over. Crucially, it is over.
Yeah, the run into the box was good. The ball was good. The header, just not enough on it. Yeah, just skews off the side of his head, but decent delivery. And that's just a little warning sign to Pats that, you know, for as good as they've been, for as dominant as they've been, that if Derry do hit the back of the net in the next couple of minutes, it really will be tough ass to get to the 90 minutes with the 3-1.
It wasn't exactly the player they wanted to have that chance, was Janice. Came to him, couldn't get it on target. Conley comes across, clears that one away. Everything seems to be going St. Pat's way right now. Turning into a very difficult night for Rory Higgins' side, and a very good night for St. Pat's. It's a massive ask now. What, 13 minutes or so of normal time remaining for Derry to score the goals they need to get something on this trip to Dublin. Once again, John Daly's side have been good in front of goal. 3 goals here takes them up to 35 goals in their 20 matches this season. Time to add to that. They've won it back really well. I'm saying Pats. Is this another goal? It is! Wonderful finish. It's all very, very straightforward for St. Pat's. Mark Doyle with the finish. Returning from injury, 4-1 St. Pat's. They have quite literally brushed Derry City aside, and you cannot argue with that scoreline. What a wonderful night for Pats. More misery for Derry.
Yeah, well, every team should be having a look at this. I'm telling them all the time, if you press properly, you will get chances in the game. Pats press really, really well. Mark Doyle nicks the ball, just runs straight through. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, hits it straight down the middle. Mark gets a little bit on it. It ends up in the back of the net, but Derry have been really, really poor. Playing balls into the middle of the pitch that they shouldn't be playing, little flick balls around the corners. It's not good enough from Derry. Nobody can recover. Mark Doyle does what you expect him to do, puts the ball away, but Derry go and shoot themselves in the foot again.
5th league goal of the season for Mark Doyle. He had the freedom of Richmond Park to score that and to produce that finish. Derry City are about to make it 1 point from their last 3 games, 2 defeats in their last 3 games. A difficult assignment against Bohemians to come. It is all coming up short for them. It's more difficulty for Derry City, who have been off it for weeks now, having won 4 in the spin before then. And for St. Pat's, they are well on their way now, safe enough to say, to go level on points with Derry City and to be very much in the mix at the business end of the table in the SSE Electricity League Premier Division.
I know Pats have scored 4 goals here tonight, Bernard, but the most impressive thing for me is the way they're pressing, the way they move as a unit. We can see the whole pitch here. It's been absolutely excellent the way they move as a unit. Sam Curtis defending in 1v1 situations have been really good. But Jamie Lennon in the middle of the pitch has just broke up most of what Derry have tried to do. He's been really, really good. Work rate's been through the roof, as has most of the Pats players, and that's been the difference out there. Work rate, desire, and Derry playing football in the wrong areas.
Massive round of applause you're hearing now is because that's the end of the night for Chris Forrester, which is a reflection of just how comfortable St. Pat's are. They are inside the final 10 minutes against one of the title contenders, one of the title favourites in Derry City, and they're taking off Chris Forrester. It's going to be Harry Brockbank who's going to come on in his place. Fresh legs brought on. Also brought on Thomas Lonergan as well. Keeping everything very fresh for St. Pat's, who have worked their bench really well. Trickery by Mark Doyle. And he's won the free kick, and there's a yellow card as well in there for that challenge. There's a little bit of frustration, which is the last thing Derry want us to leave here empty-handed, and with a couple of suspensions in the bag as well to keep their heads for the remaining 10 minutes or so. It's smiles all around from the St. Pat's supporters. Confirmation of that yellow card for Ryan Graydon.
You would imagine that it's a total opposite of what Rory Higgins would have said to his team before he came down here to Dublin. Give St. Pat's very, very little. If they're going to beat us, make them earn it. Derry have just handed it to St. Pat's on a plate.
And with 7.5 minutes remaining here, you would not bet against Pat scoring another. Lennon. Timmermans couldn't get there. Here's Adam O'Reilly. his way here is O'Reilly. Tried to get the cross in. Noah Lewis came right across. He just narrowed the angle, made the block, and so it's going to be a corner kick to Derry City.
Yeah, good running from Manuel O'Reilly. Soon he gets onto the left wing, you know he wants to get to that byline. It's just a question of whether he has the pace to get there. He proves he does. Pat's managed to get it behind for a corner kick.
Some defensive work for Pats to do here. Punched away. Good punch as well by Linus. Lonergan looking to win it back for St. Pat's, but the decision has gone against the St. Pat's player. It's going to be another free kick for Derry City. Connolly's delivery isn't good though. Marr. O'Neill. He's got it behind here. As O'Neill still going. It's a lovely challenge by Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis does really well to come over and help his mate out. I thought Brockbank could have actually went and nicked that ball out. He decides to let it go and gets done around the outside, but Noah Lewis, the centre half, reads it really well. Comes over and helps his mate out.
It's the latest corner kick for Derry. O'Neill. That's cleared as far as O'Reilly took the shot on. Chance from McClelland. Referee blows the whistle, much to the happiness of the St. Pat's supporters.
Had McClelland been able to get that under his spell, Tom Lonergan was in the middle of the pitch. He was 1v1. Pats won't mind too much about that given the scoreline.
It'll be Brockbank who will take. Clearance as the sun starts to set in South Dublin, just into the main stand on the far side, where the vast majority of those St. Pat's supporters are. And it's turning into a lovely night for them. It's away from a commanding 4-1 victory against Derry City to extend this wonderful run of form. Here's the player who set it all up for them, set them on their way, Jay McGrath.
This will be John Daly's 6th win in 7 games as he's come in as the manager. He's been really, really good. And as I say, I know attacking-wise they've scored 4 goals tonight, but the most impressive thing is the team unit and the shape and desire. The work rate in the middle of the pitch has been brilliant, top class from St. Pat's tonight.
Still going or St. Pat's. That's going to be a free kick though. Sends St. Pat's up to 35 points alongside Derry City. Just 4 behind Shamrock Rovers. The truth be told, Derry have been a beaten docket for quite some time in this game. They can have no complaints leaving Dublin without any points this evening. Cup winners last season, 2nd place team last season in the league. Still at a very early stage in this campaign. And there will only just be those 4 points between Derry and Shamrock Rovers, but in terms of what's happened them in the last 3 games, it will be a sore one and a tough one to take. And those defeats to Sligo, but it's looking increasingly like a defeat here. And the drop points as well against Shelbourne too. I can't tell you the man of the match, chosen by our studio panel, is the St. Pat's defender who scored their opening goal of 4, Jay McGrath. A wonderful long-range strike which beat Brian Marr. Seems like a long time ago now, but it was the first block along the way for St. Pat's, who are now well on their way to maximum points here. Superb run of form is going to extend for St. Pat's here this evening. Drogheda away next weekend before the break. 3 points there, keeps them in the picture. When we talk about Derry City, title contenders, they will be 4 points behind Shamrock Rovers this evening. As this finishes as it is about to finish, St. Pat's 2 would only be 4 points off the leaders. A remarkable job John Daly has done since he's come in. Sets it up nicely for an interesting second half of the season after the break. Shamrock Rovers getting their 3 points this evening, had their difficulties this season. Pats and Derry looking to hang on to their coattails. No real surprise to see Derry there or thereabouts. St. Pat's really hitting form then. Another chance, and it's gone over. The chances are mounting. It's a difficult one to take. Lonergan couldn't send that one on target and sends it over the bar. Just got a hand to it, did Marr.
Yeah, lovely little ball over the top from Lennon. Lonergan's on his bike. He knows exactly what he's going to do with it. Maybe a little bit central. You need to pick out the corners there, but decent save from Brian Marr.
Very good save. Let's claws that one over. Another corner kick for Pats. It was Lonergan in there. Not a good clearance by O'Neill. So Pat's looking to send it back in. Here's Jamie Lennon. He's down under the challenge. Free kick for St. Pat's.
Brilliant reading of the game from Jamie Lennon. He knows as soon as this ball bops out, he's going to go, and when he gets his body across, he knows he's going to run into the back of him. Just waits for the contact, wins the free kick. Brilliant play. He's been brilliant all day, Jamie Lennon.
Brockbank. Clearance is away by Doherty. Keith, what is this run of form and this victory here, as it is going to be a victory for John Daly's St. Pat's sides? What does that say about them in terms of what they could do this season?
Well, I'm not too sure. I think the one thing John Daly would be saying is they want to at least make Europe. If they can get themselves involved in a title race, looks like they might do. All well and good, but the number one remit is get yourself into Europe. I know that's what the club want to do. They look like they will be able to do that. And given how they're playing against Derry tonight, they've been really, really good. I've been very impressed with them.
Haven't cleared the lines again. So Pats still have it there. Lonergan, there's the layoff, and Timmermans sends it over the bar.
It's a poor strike from Timmermans, but you see we're in the 92nd minute of the game, and the Pats players are hardying in the far corner of the pitch. They're going and winning the ball back in Derry's final third. It's really, really good stuff. Full of motivation, full of desire. John Daly has this team really running around and working hard.
Lewis commanding in the air. O'Neill. Then Doherty. O'Reilly. Not a happy return to Inchicore for him. The Derry City player. Back here for the second time this season. 1-1 draw on the 17th of February. Not an ideal result for Derry City on that occasion. This is a disastrous result for Derry. They have not got going at all this evening. St. Pat's never really looked back as soon as they took the lead from Jay McGrath in the 36th minute. Then those 5 hectic minutes in the second half, with Owen Doyle scoring in the 62nd minute and Kavanagh pulling one back before Forrester's goal in the 67th minute, and then Doyle with the 4th. St. Pat's full value. Halfway through the additional 6 minutes. Lewis is good there. McGrath may have been chosen as the man of the match, but he's been good as well, Keith, hasn't he, Lewis, alongside him?
Yeah, really good. The physical battle, he hasn't shied away from it at all. He's just had to keep switched on with Pat's being so dominant in the game. He has to keep switched on, because you know every now and then Derry are going to just flick one over the top and you have to be on your bike ready to run. He's been more than ready, been really good, big Noah Lewis. Just to show the versatility of young Sam Curtis. He was at right back, Brockbank comes on, slots into right back, Sam Curtis goes as a centre half. Really, really good to be able to do that at such a young age. And I've said it before about him being so young, to come into the League of Ireland and not be messed about physically at that age. It's a really, really big attribute of his.
He's been impressive. St. Pat's have been impressive. We have said it a couple of times in this game, but they really have ticked every box, not just in terms of their goals. Defensively, okay, they conceded 1 goal. Attitude as well, up for the fight, making it difficult for Derry. Not allowing Derry to really get going at all here. It really has been a superb performance by John Daly and his side. On his way. O'Neill did just enough on that occasion. Trickled behind. There goes the full-time whistle. It's 6 wins from 7 matches for St. Pat's, who now go level of points with Derry City in the table. Full value for their win. A 4-star performance by the home side that has finished here. St. Pat's 4, Derry City 1, Tommy.
Yes, indeed, the Super Saints go marching on up the League of Ireland Premier Division table, up to 3rd now, level with Derry. After this, we're going to have goals from elsewhere in the League of Ireland Premier Division. We'll ask what went wrong with Derry, and we might even get Brian to admit that Pats are in the title race. Who knows? Stay with us.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage. SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
Feels like a very significant evening at the top end of the Premier Division table, and especially for St. Pat's. 3 second-half goals meant to finish 4-1 on the night, and they are now joint second with tonight's defeated team at Richmond Park, Derry City. So crucial victory for Pats, thanks in no small part to the panel's man of the match, their young centre-half, Jay McGrath. He's with Anne-Marie Keegan.
Jay McGrath, congratulations. You are tonight's SSE Airtricity Player of the Match. Here to present you with your award is Peter Ryan.
Thank you.
Well done, Jay. That is a big performance and a big 3 points.
Yeah, massive 3 points, you know. Since the gaffer took over, we've been flying, we've been playing good football, and I think that's 5 out of 6 now, or 6 out of 7, so we're flying.
Absolutely, 5 wins in a row. What's been the difference since John came in?
You know, he's just given us that belief and that confidence to play the football that we all know we can play. We're playing out from the back, you see, we're getting our good players on the ball more often, and it's working, you know. We're battering teams with possession and getting in that final forward and scoring goals, more importantly.
Yeah, and a first goal for you tonight for the club, a special moment for you.
Yeah, great feeling, you know. It's been coming, you know, I've had a couple chances and an unlikely goal from outside the box, but I'll take it.
4 points off the top now. You're well and truly in that title race.
Yeah, you know, it's what we aimed for at the start of the season, to be in that. So now we're there. We've got to keep going.
Well done tonight, Jake.
Thank you. Thank you.
McElhenney or Connolly's got to go.
There could have been a number of Pats players that could have got the Man of the Match award. Was it because it was a position you were a bit worried about from Pat's point of view, and actually turned out to be no reason to worry?
Key defenders are missing, but he's come into the team. He played against UCD the other night, played very well in the match until he went off injured. Brilliant ball forward. I mean, tonight I worried about him defensively. How would he do with Noah Lewis? Both of them have been in and out of the team this season, but they defended well, but also used the ball very well, which was important for Pats, because this type of ball relieves pressure and gets them up the pitch and created chances in the match. But you got to defend first. That's your job when you pick for centre half. And I thought he did his job very well. Just looked like he was in a little bit of trouble here. He recovered against Kavanagh, gets his head up and picks that ball forward again. What a beautiful, precise pass that was for Owen Doyle, running away from Mark Connolly. Surprised that he was able to do that so easily, and then just superb finish, all his experience, all those hundreds of goals he scored in his career.
And here's his goal, Vinny. And look, people from watching this from a Derry point of view, it's not pretty watching, is it? Either of those goals?
No, but what he done there was he was very brave and he stepped in. Very easy for centre halves. Look here, give it to Jamie Lennon. No, he sees the space, exploits it, drives at the Derry midfield and gets a shot off. Yes, the keeper may feel he should save it, but for me, he showed real leadership tonight as well for someone so young. And I think that was important for St. Pat's with so many players. Joe Redmond's a massive loss for that club. And for him to show that leadership tonight is a real turning point for him, hopefully, in his career. Because he's had a couple of little setbacks like young players do. And I hope this is a catalyst for him to kick on.
When you look at that second half story, Vinny, and we look at the goals now, like he talked there about he felt that John Daly has given them confidence as players. Is that apparent here in how we see that the way this half went, considering Derry pulled a goal back, but it didn't seem to bother Pats in the least?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is a huge moment and a sort of turning point in the game, and it's just really poor from Derry from a defensive point of view. But you must say that experience and big moment, Owen Doyle taking a chance, and this is where you'd like someone there, go and win a big header for Pats, get that ball out of the box, and we've just gone 2-0 up, and you feared was the game about to swing back and the momentum swing back at Derry's way, but no, up steps their leader and their captain.
That's
with
a
a
big
great
moment,
finish.
Brian, wasn't it? Right for the goal.
Timmermans come on, did very well. Substitutions all did well. Tactically, great performance. Mark Doyle takes it off. Adam O'Reilly here bursts forward and sticks it into the net. Little bit of a half stop by the goalkeeper, but Pats have been threatening. Once they got that third goal, it was a lovely pick out in Timmermans to pick Forrester. They've been fairly efficient at corners. They got 3 in UCD the other night. They got 1 against Derry early in the season to rescue a point in the first match. But they've been very good on set pieces, and but it was a really, really good performance. I would say, Tommy, now that was probably their most impressive performance outside the game with Mura, I'd say, in Europe last year, or maybe in Sofia when they won 1-0. That was the most impressive performance in 2 seasons.
OK, hold that thought, gentlemen, then. We know the result in Richmond Park tonight. Some big results elsewhere in the League of Ireland. Remember we said at the start of the evening, these couple of games before the break are going to be huge, no more so than Shamrock Rovers away to Sligo Rovers. The goals came in the second half. Rory Gaffney first up. He had a simple finish at the end. Here was Johnny Kenny, the former Sligo man, who helped him out. And that puts Shamrock Rovers in front. Gaffney's second, a lot more difficult. Did very well, didn't he? Coming through, and a very cool finish there. Full of confidence, Gaffney, and with only a couple of minutes remaining, Rovers completed an impressive evening's work. Substitute Aaron Green on the score sheets on Friday night, and he made his mark finding the net with this close range finish there. 3 goals and 3 points for Shamrock Rovers. So, summing up the evening's results, as we see there, Pat's good win for them. Cork City, a dramatic game down in Turner's Cross, beating Bohemians 2-1. Rovers with that crucial win away in Sligo. Dundalk, they needed that, didn't they? Beating UCD, that was a must-win game for them, keeping them in touch with the top 4. And as it stands, half-time at Talca Park, Drogheda lead Shelbourne by a goal to 0 there. So here's how that League of Ireland Premier Division table looks after the game so far this evening. It's a 4-point gap now for Shamrock Rovers over Derry City. Pats are right up there, and we'll try and get Brian to give an assessment of their title credentials. Bo's still in touch as well. But Vinny, is it a case that's a really good evening for Shamrock Rovers, given that Derry City dropped points and
that's huge. That's a huge moment for Derry, or for Shamrock Rovers, should I say. That trip home from Sligo can be difficult, but Sligo, different place to go. They've been struggling a little bit this year, but Rovers will be absolutely buzzing on that bus on the way home. It'll be a good journey for them, and they just need to finish the job off next week and go into the break knowing Europe is coming, and having that gap in points is huge at that time of the year, and it's psychologically as well. It gives the players a big boost and they can reset and go again. And you would say, albeit we want the title race and I think it's good for the league if we have one, you would say tonight feels like a shift in momentum, and Rovers are in the driving seat now, and it's a long way back for the others.
Yeah, it's still early days yet, but 6 wins and 7 from a Pat's point of view, Brian. I know you were certainly not getting carried away before the game. You had your concerns about their squad depth, about the youth of the team and injuries, etc. But it's really impressive for them. Can they sustain a challenge, if even, as Vinny's suggesting, that it might be to be the best of the rest?
Look, it's been certainly impressive, and the young players have really stood up. The likes of Adam Murphy, Sam Curtis at right back. But Jamie Lennon was outstanding in the match tonight. Although he didn't get man of the match, Jay had to get it given his goal and his delivery for the Owen Doyle. But I think you could go down as far as Shelbourne, with Shelbourne, Dundalk, Pats, Bows, Derry. They're all in the chase after Rovers. To be honest, I don't think any of them will catch Shamrock Rovers.
You just think Rovers is just too much?
And they've too much depth in the squad.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens when the European games start, because that'll be an important time for all the clubs.
I tell you what, whatever magic dust that John Daly has sprinkled over the Saints, it's working so far. Let's hear from the Pats manager.
John, you spoke before the game about how important it was for you to have your players playing with confidence. They certainly look confident out there tonight. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. It's a fantastic result for us. It's a huge 3 points, but again, it's 3 points. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. It's obviously got us closer to Derry, where we want to be. But we know as quickly as it is, we need to put it to bed and move on to Drogheda now and fully focus on that on Friday.
Tactically tonight, you seem to get it spot on. Did it work just as you hoped it would?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have some key players in their team that can really hurt you, and we nullified that from the start. So at times some of our players probably felt it was strange positions they were going into, and thankfully they did what we asked, and it worked. So sometimes you get it wrong. Tonight we got it right.
One more game to go now, and then the mid-season break. With the form you're in, though, you probably don't want that break at the minute.
No, we certainly want the break. We've got plenty of injuries at the back, so we want to try and get the lads recuperated. The lads that are fit have been working extremely hard, so it gives everybody a chance to recharge and then go again. I think we're obviously, as I said, we'll focus on that straight after the Drogheda game.
And just 4 points off Shamrock Rovers now at the top of the league. Whether you're willing to admit it or not, you are in a title race.
Oh, look at clubs like Pats, we should be challenging for the top honours, and we obviously want to keep going as much as we can and keep trying to pick up points. As I said before, we're never going to look too far ahead. Drogheda is the next 3 points that's available, and we'll focus on that and try our best to get 3 points there.
Well done, Simon.
Thanks very much.
No smiles, but I'm sure he's a happy man. As for Derry, final word to you, Vinny. What's gone wrong with the team that most people expect to be the number one challengers to Shamrock Rovers?
Just think, I said at the top of the show, consistently inconsistent, and it's affected them. And even tonight, it's a hammer blow. Losing McElhenney and Duffy will be a big, big blow. That's worse nearly than the defeat tonight. So it's
Indeed,
a tough way back
for Derry. Thanks, chaps. If you didn't get enough entertainment this evening from Richmond Park, a new season of Love Island begins straight after us here on Virgin Media 2 from Inchicore to Casa Amor. Stay with us. I know Brian is going to rush home to catch it, so he's got it recorded, series linked. Thanks to Vinny and Brian for their thoughts this evening. Derry left heartbroken this evening. St. Pat's are cracking on up the table. Good night.